Hello students, welcome to Bridge Academy Grade 9 Biology Unit 1 Tutorials Unit I Introduction to Biology. Like and share for more videos. Lesson 4, Tools of a Biologist. Okay, welcome to this lesson where we're going to be learning about the tools that biologists use. Now, remember, biology is the study of life. And so, because there is so much to study, biologists have developed a lot of different tools that help them do their work. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some of the most common tools that biologists use in both the lab and in the field. Now, the first group of tools we're going to talk about are the ones used in the laboratory. Now, when biologists work in a laboratory, they are normally working with very small things that are too small to be seen with the unaided human eye. And so they need special tools to help them visualize those things and to interact with them. The first of these tools is called a hand lens. And that's shown here. It's also known as a magnifying glass. Now, a hand lens has a convex lens in either a metal or a wooden frame. And it allows biologists to enlarge the image of a small object so that it can be seen more clearly. Now, this tool is useful for looking at things like leaves or cells. The next tool that we're going to talk about is a microscope. And a microscope is used to magnify small objects so that they can be seen more clearly. Now, there are several different types of microscopes that are used in biology, but the two main ones are light microscopes and electron microscopes. Now, a light microscope uses light and lenses to magnify objects up to 2,000 times. This is useful for seeing things like bacteria or fungi. Now, a simple microscope has one lens and a compound microscope has multiple lenses. Remember, a compound microscope is usually monocular, meaning it has only one eyepiece through which you look, or it can be binocular, meaning it has two eyepieces. And both of these examples are compound light microscopes. Now, the parts of a compound light microscope include the ocular lens, which is the lens that you look through, the nose piece, which holds the objective lenses, and there are typically 3 of these objective lenses that can be used. They are for X, 10x, and 40x. So multiply the number on the ocular lens by the number on the objective lens to get the total magnification of the image that you're re-looking at. So, for example, if you put the 4x objective lens on and then look through the ocular lens, which is usually 10x, you would multiply 4 times 10 to get 40x. So that means that the image that you're re-looking at is 40 times larger than the actual specimen. Now, these microscopes allow biologists to see small objects in thin sections, and they are used to examine things like cells, bacteria, and tissues. Now, a few other tools that are used with microscopes are glass slides and cover slips. Now, a glass slide is just a flat piece of glass that is used to hold the specimen that you're re-looking at. And a cover slip is a thin piece of glass that is used to protect the specimen and to keep it moist while it is being observed under the microscope. The next tool we're going to talk about is called an autoclave. And this is a tool that is used to sterilize or disinfect tools and supplies. It uses high pressure and high temperature steam to kill all of the microbes, including the spores in the items that are placed inside of it. Now, this helps to prevent contamination of samples, and it helps to keep the biologist safe. The next tool that we're going to talk about is an incubator. And an incubator is a tool that is used to maintain a constant temperature. This is important for growing microorganisms like bacteria and cell cultures. Incubators are often used in microbiology labs to keep the temperatures at the correct level for optimal growth. The next tools we're going to talk about are Petri dishes and culture tubes. Now, both of these tools are used to hold nutrient media that is used to grow microorganisms like bacteria. Now, a Petri dish is a shallow, flat container that holds the media, and a culture tube is a tall-walled container that holds the media. The media itself is either a liquid or a gel that contains nutrients that the microorganisms can eat. Another tool that's used in biology labs is a flask. A flask is a tall walled container with a wide mouth that is used to hold liquids and to mix them. This is helpful for preparing solutions and heating liquids. The next tool is a balance. And a balance is used to weigh out very small amounts of substances. It's especially helpful for measuring out chemicals and other substances that are used in experiments. A dropper is another tool that's used in a biology lab. A dropper is used to add small amounts of liquid. This is helpful when working with small volumes of liquids and when adding precise amounts of liquid to a sample. The next tool we're going to talk about are tongs. Tongs are used to pick up and hold hot objects. This is helpful when working with hot plates, hot glassware, and other hot objects that are used in a lab. The next tool that we're going to talk about is a dissecting tool kit. A dissecting tool kit includes various tools such as scalpels and forceps that are used to cut and manipulate objects. It's especially helpful for dissecting animals and plants. The next tool that we're going to talk about is a dissecting pan. A dissecting pan is a tray that is used to hold a specimen while it's being dissected. This helps to keep the specimen secure and allows the biologist to manipulate it easily. The next tool is a crucible. A crucible is a small container that is used to hold substances that need to be heated or melted. This is especially helpful for heating small amounts of substances. The next tool we're going to talk about is a beaker. A beaker is a tall walled container that is used to hold and mix liquids. This is especially helpful for holding solutions and heating liquids. The next tool that we're going to talk about is a hot plate. A hot plate is a tool that is used to heat solutions. This is especially helpful for maintaining a constant temperature. The next tool that we're going to talk about is a pH meter. A pH meter is used to measure the acidity or alkalinity of a solution. This is especially helpful when working with chemical reactions that involve acids and bases. Another tool that we're going to talk about is a thermometer. A thermometer is used to measure temperature. This is especially helpful for maintaining a constant temperature when working with living things like cells or microorganisms. And the last tool that we're going to talk about is a spatula. A spatula is a tool that is used to mix or scrape substances. It's especially helpful for handling powders and other dry substances. Now, these are just a few of the many tools that are used in a biology lab. There are many other tools that are used depending on the specific work that's being done. Now, the next group of tools that we're going to talk about are the tools that are used in the field. Now, when biologists work in the field, they're usually trying to collect samples of living things. And so they need special tools that will help them collect those samples without damaging them. The first of these tools is an insect net. An insect net is a net that is used to collect insects. It's especially helpful for collecting flying insects like butterflies and dragonflies. The next tool that we're going to talk about is a fishing net. A fishing net is a net that is used to collect fish and other aquatic organisms. It's especially helpful for collecting organisms from water. So these are just a few of the many tools that are used in the field. There are many other tools that are used depending on the specific work that's being done. Now, hopefully, you can see that biologists use a variety of tools to study life. In the labs, tools like microscopes, hand lenses, and slides help see tiny cells, while autoclaves, incubators, and petri dishes help grow microbes. Dissecting kits, beakers, and burners aid experiments, and tools like droppers and pH meters ensure precision. In the field, nets help collect organisms. These tools enable biologists to observe, test, and understand living things from bacteria to ecosystems, leading to discoveries that improve our knowledge of life. Review questions and answers. 1. What is the purpose of a microscope in biology, and how do light and electron microscopes differ? Answer. A microscope helps biologists see tiny objects, like cells or bacteria, that are too small for the naked eye. A light microscope uses light and glass lenses to magnify objects up to 2,000 times, showing bacteria or fungi. An electron microscope uses electrons and electromagnets for higher magnification, allowing scientists to see smaller things like viruses. 2. How do tools like Petri dishes and autoclaves help biologists study microorganisms? Answer: Petri dishes hold gel or liquid media to grow microorganisms, like bacteria, in a controlled setting. An autoclave sterilizes these dishes and other tools by using high heat and steam to kill microbes. This ensures the samples are clean, allowing biologists to study microorganisms safely and accurately. 3. What are some tools biologists use in the field, and how do they help study living things? Answer: in the field, biologists use insect nets and fishing nets. Insect nets, made of mesh bags, catch insects for study. Fishing nets trap fish or aquatic organisms. These tools help biologists collect living things from their natural habitats to observe and learn about their behavior and environments. Like, share, and subscribe for more videos.